loincloth of the princes of Egypt, his arms laden with gold bracelets from the wrists to the elbows, a man stood waiting. His skin was white, and his brow was covered with brown curls. With one hand he stopped the canoe. Then, lifting me in his arms, he walked across the sea of reeds. On the opposite shore he clasped me to him and put his mouth on mine, giving me back the breath the sea had tried to take from me. I opened my eyes. It was night. The real night, the night of the earth. I was on my bed. I had been dreaming. "Oh, Horeb," I asked, "why send me this dream? Was it a dream of death or a dream of life? Is my place here, beside my father Jethro, the high priest of Midian, or is it in the land of Cush where I was born? Is my place among my white-skinned sisters who love me, or there, beyond the sea, among the Nubians who are under the yoke of Pharaoh? Oh, Horeb, listen to me. In your hands I place my breath. I will dance with joy if you decide to answer me, you who know my distress. Why was the Egyptian waiting for me at the bottom of the sea? Why erase my mother's name and even her face from my memory? What path was the dream you interrupted indicating to me? Oh, Horeb, may my call to you be answered. Why do you remain silent? What is to become of me, Zipporah the stranger? No man here will take me as his wife because my skin is black, but my father loves me. In his eyes I am a woman worthy of respect. Among the peoples of Cush, what would I be? I do not speak their language, do not eat their food. How would I live there? Only the color of my skin would make me similar to my fellows. Oh, Horeb, you are the God of my father Jethro. Who will be my God if not you? Part 1. Jethro's Daughters. The Fugitive. That day, and all the days that followed, Horeb remained silent. The dream lingered for a long time in Zipporah's body, like the poison left by an illness. For several moons she dreaded the night. She lay on her bed without moving, without closing her eyes, without even daring to touch her lips with her tongue, for fear of finding the taste of the stranger's mouth on them. She thought for a moment of confiding in her father Jethro, who better to counsel her than the sage of the kings of Midian, who loved her more than he did, who better understood her torments. But she said nothing. She did not want to seem too weak, too childish, too much like other women who were always ready to believe their hearts rather than their eyes. He was so proud of her, and she wanted to show him that she was strong and sensible and held firm to all the things he had taught her. With time, the images of the dream faded. The Egyptian's face became blurred. A season went by without her thinking of it once. Then one morning Jethro announced to his daughters that young Reba, the son of the king of Sheba, one of the 5 kings of Midian, would be their guest the next day. "He has come to ask counsel of me. He will be here before the end of the day. We shall welcome him as he deserves." The news provoked a great deal of mirth among the women of the house. All of them, Jethro's daughters, the handmaids, knew what was going on. For more than a year, barely a moon had passed without Reba coming to seek Jethro's counsel. While everyone bustled to prepare the next day's banquet, some preparing the food, others the reception tent and the carpets and cushions that had to be laid out in the courtyard, it was Sephoba, the eldest of Jethro's daughters, still living in their father's house, who, with her usual directness, said out loud what everyone was thinking. "Reba has had more counsel by now than anyone needs in a lifetime. Unless, behind that handsome little face of his, He's the stupidest man Horeb has ever created. What he really wants to know is if he still appeals to our dear Orma. He's hoping Father will think his patience a sign of wisdom and agree to make him his son-in-law." Orma shrugged. "We all know why he's coming," she admitted. "But what's the point of these visits? They bore me. They're always the same. Reba sits down with our father, spends half the night chatting and drinking wine, and then goes home again, without ever making his mind up to say the necessary words." "Yes, I wonder why," Zipporah said, pretending to be thinking deeply. "Perhaps he doesn't find you beautiful enough." Orma glared at her sister, unsure whether she was joking. Zipporah laughed, pleased with her teasing. Zipporah sensed that they might be building up to one of their customary quarrels. She stroked the back of Orma's neck to calm her, and received a slap on the hand by way of thanks. Although they had the same mother, Zipporah and Orma could not have been more dissimilar. Zipporah was short and round, sensual and tender, with nothing dazzling about her. Her smile revealed her lack of guile, the honesty of her thoughts and feelings. She was completely trustworthy, and more than once Zipporah had confided to her what she did not dare tell anyone else. Orma, on the other hand, was like one of those stars that keep their brilliance even when the sky is already flooded with sunlight. There was no woman more beautiful in Jethro's house, perhaps in the whole of Midian, and certainly no woman prouder of this gift of Horeb. Suitors had written long poems about the splendor of her eyes, the grace of her mouth, the elegance of her neck. In their songs, the shepherds, although they did not dare mention her by name, vaunted her breasts and her hips, comparing them to fabulous fruits, strange animals, and magic spells cast by goddesses. Orma savored this fame, never tired of it, but she seemed perfectly content to inflame others without herself being inflamed. No man had yet been able to arouse in her an interest greater than the interest she had in herself. She was the despair of Jethro, who saw her fussing over her robes, her cosmetics, and her jewels as if they were the most precious thing in the world. He had had no success in making her a wife and mother, although she was the youngest daughter of his blood, and he loved her dearly. There were times when even he, who rarely lost his composure, could not restrain his harsh judgment of her. "Orma is like the desert wind," he would rage in Zipporah's presence. "She blows first one way, then the other. She's like a bladder that fills with air and then bursts. Her mind is an empty chest. Even the dust of memory won't settle in it. She's a jewel, of course, and she grows more beautiful every day, but I sometimes wonder if Horeb is angry with me and is using her to test me." "You're too hard on her," Zipporah would gently protest. "Orma knows very well what she wants and has a strong will, but she's young." "She's 3 years older than you," Jethro would reply. "It's high time she thought less about making hay and more about making babies." In fact, there had been no lack of suitors, but Jethro, having promised Orma that he would never choose a husband for her without her consent, was still waiting, just like the suitors. Now new songs were being sung across the land of Midian, saying that the beautiful Orma, daughter of Jethro the sage, had been born to break the hardest of hearts, and that Horeb would soon transform her, as virgin as the day she was born, into a superb rock on his mountain, caressed only by the wind. But now Reba had decided to take up the challenge and was endlessly coming to pay his respects to Jethro with the impatience of a warlord before a battle. Nobody doubted that his persistence deserved its reward. "This time, little sister," Zipporah resumed, "you really must make up your mind." "Why should I?" "Because Reba deserves it." "No more than anyone else." "Oh, come on," Zipporah said, warming to the argument. "What other man would you prefer? Everything about him is pleasing." "To an ordinary woman?" "To you, Princess."